Today, my family and I are at Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort, a retro-themed place that's straight out of the atomic age here in Orlando. If the Jetsons stayed in a hotel, it would look like this. But this isn't just a value hotel. It's a smart, practical choice for guests who want to maximize park time while enjoying a resort experience that doesn't feel cheap or crowded. I'm Darren from OrlandoParkSky.com, and I'm showing you exactly what it's like to stay at Cabana Bay. It's mid-morning when I pull off Universal Boulevard, and there it is, Cabana Bay Beach Resort. From the very first glimpse, the place feels like a postcard from the 1960s. The facade is a sweep of bright turquoise panels, geometric shapes, and neon signage straight out of Miami Beach. The style? Think Grandma's vintage Tupperware set. Teal, turquoise, orange, and yellow everywhere. By the way, Tupperware is an Orlando company, so that's a great joke right there. The drop-off is busy. Families are unloading luggage. Kids are pointing toward the towering retro Cabana Bay sign. I step out and immediately notice the details. Chrome accents, the font choice on the signage, everything looks like they belong in a vintage travel poster. Walking through the main entrance doors, the temperature drops, and the first thing that hits me is scale. The lobby is enormous. The space opens into a wide, airy expanse with double-height ceilings and huge mid-century chandeliers that look like the Sputnik space shuttle. And it's fall, so there are elaborate Halloween decorations throughout. The front desk stretches almost the entire length of the lobby, a practical design choice when you've got 2,200 rooms worth of guests checking in. But somehow it still feels inviting, not like an airport counter. Off to one side, there's a cozy seating area with low-slung armchairs and curved sofas in cheerful oranges, blues, and yellows. The carpet pattern looks like something plucked from a 1962 interior design magazine. Check-in is smooth. The team here know they've got a lot of guests arriving at once, so they've streamlined it. A quick scan of my ID, confirmation of my reservation for a standard 2-queen room, and I'm handed my room key card. Along with it comes a small information sheet, pool hours, dining options, early park admission details, and a subtle reminder that while staying here does get me coveted early park entry, it does not come with Universal Express Pass. That's reserved for select and definitely pricier premium hotels. With my keycard in hand and a mental list of all the places I want to explore before the day's over, I head toward my room to check it out. And if you're new here, subscribe to my channel now. I provide Orlando travel tips so you can have more fun. The elevator doors slide open and I step out onto my floor. The hallway here feels like an extension of the lobby's personality. Bright, bold colors, patterned carpet that might have been lifted from a vintage bowling alley, and framed artwork of beach scenes and travel postcards. My room is a short walk down, and with the tap of a keycard, the door clicks open. It's not extravagant, but it's instantly welcoming. The standard 2-queen room is about 300 square feet, and every inch of it is dressed in Cabana Bay's mid-century style. The first thing that catches my eye is the color palette. Turquoise, teal, pops of yellow, and bright orange accents that tie the whole retro theme together. The beds are side by side against a feature wall with geometric patterned artwork. Each bed has a patterned duvet straight out of a 1960s motel ad, but in a deliberately fresh, updated way. To the left, there's a flat-screen TV mounted on a low dresser with just enough counter space for snacks, park maps, and the occasional late-night milkshake from the diner downstairs. Beneath it, a mini fridge hides behind a cabinet door, perfect for stashing drinks and leftovers. There's a single brew coffee maker, but there's no microwave here. The bathroom area is split for convenience. A vanity with a wide mirror and hairdryer sits outside, so one person could get ready while the other uses the shower in the separate turquoise tiled bathroom. And here's a small but delightful touch, the toiletries. Instead of generic hotel soap, Cabana Bay has name brand products styled in their 1965 logos. Storage is limited but practical, a closet nook with hangers, iron, and a safe. Now, here's where this room differs from the suites at Cabana Bay. In a family suite, you'd have a small kitchenette, a partition between the living and sleeping areas, and more space overall. It's worth noting that family suites are often similar in price. My view is of the parking area and the distant theme parks, not the pool, but I've had worse views from hotel windows. And honestly, for this trip, the view isn't the point. The real action is outside the room, and with only one night here, I'm not wasting daylight. I drop my bag, grab my camera, and head back out. By now, it's time for lunch. There are plenty of options between here and City Walk, but I'm keeping things on property with the resort's main dining hub, Bayliner Diner. This is Cabana Bay's food court. Step inside and you're met with a sea of colorful seating, aqua booths, bright orange chairs, and signage straight from a 1960s cafeteria. Overhead, giant screens loop old commercials and vintage cartoons, adding to the sense that you've just time traveled. There are multiple food stations here, each serving something different. One has freshly grilled burgers and hot dogs, another has roasted chicken and pasta, there's a sandwich and salad station, and even a pizza shop that will happily deliver a pie to your room. The food court is quiet now, in between lunch and dinner, but I managed to find some chicken strips and fries. Even the fries feel like the kind from the 1960s. For a resort in the value to moderate category, the dining lineup here is impressive. You've got quick bites, full meals, milkshakes, and enough variety that even picky eaters are covered. It's already been a long day, and we have Universal Studios tonight, so I need to make a stop at Cabana Bay's official Starbucks for a caffeine fix. The aroma of freshly ground coffee beans hits instantly, rich, slightly sweet, and a little comforting after the morning travel. I order a cappuccino, asking for an extra shot just to wake me up properly. My son, of course, went for the sugar bomb frappuccino. As I wait, I take a moment to look around. The vintage coffee cups, the spiral staircase, and wood paneling give this coffee shop a retro flair. When our drinks arrive, we find a quiet spot at one of the tables, and I take that first sip. It's a brief, grounding moment in an otherwise high-energy resort. With the room and dining options explored, it's time to make the most of one of Cabana Bay's biggest perks, direct access to Universal Orlando. Just outside the lobby, the dedicated shuttle buses come every few minutes or so. The buses are crowded, but it's a short ride, no more than 5 minutes, before we're dropped off right at Universal City Walk, Islands of Adventure, and Universal Studios. Being in that retro, nostalgic mood from Cabana Bay, my family and I head to one of my all-time favorite attractions, E.T. Adventure. It's classic, it's so weird, and it's the only ride where an animatronic alien says your name. Unless you have a name it can't pronounce, in which case you'll just get called Friend. From there, we do Men in Black Alien Attack, which on the outside has that retro 1960s New York World's Fair design. And then I spotted a cool Easter egg, Chief Brody's police vehicle from Jaws. It's a small nod, but man, I missed that ride. Universal, if you're watching, bring it back. And if you agree, hit that like button so we can start a movement. It's a great evening of rides, nostalgia, and wandering the park. Tonight, I decide to experiment a bit. Instead of hopping on a bus back to Cabana Bay, we walk over to the water taxi dock and board a boat headed for Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort. It's a short, scenic ride across the lagoon, and once we arrive, there's a pedestrian bridge that leads directly across the street to Cabana Bay. It's a quieter, more scenic way to end the night, and it's good to know you've got options beyond just the bus. Back in the room, I take a quick shower and jump into bed. It's been just one day, but already we've experienced so much. Day one is officially in the books, and now it's lights out. Well, good morning. I'm up early before the family, so let's go outside and explore the resort while the sun rises. Cabana Bay has not one, but two massive pool complexes, each with its own personality. I start with the Atomic Courtyard pool just off the lobby's giant glass windows. And sure enough, there's a towering dive tower structure, purely decorative. It's actually a water slide. Sun loungers and cabanas ring the pool with a generous amount of shade. Soon, people will rush down to reserve their pool chairs with towels at 9 a.m. That tradition is alive and well here in Orlando. From here, I follow the pathways towards the Lazy River Courtyard, my personal favorite. The energy shifts instantly. It's calmer, quieter, and anchored by a wide beach entry pool that gradually slopes in, perfect for little ones. But the real draw is the lazy river itself, winding through lush landscaping. You can buy a tube in the gift shop or even bring your own. Just beyond the pool areas tucked between the resort's towers are fire pits. At night, these glow with a warm orange flicker, and you'll often see families roasting marshmallows. Full-on s'mores kits are sold at the Bayliner Diner. Now, Cabana Bay doesn't just stop at water play. Inside on the second floor above the lobby is Galaxy Bowl, a full-service bowling alley. It's open to both hotel guests and visitors, and while you play, you can order burgers, fries, and milkshakes. If you're the type who wants to keep up your workout even on vacation, there's the LaLanne Physical Fitness Studio, a nod to the iconic 60s fitness personality called the Godfather of Fitness, who revolutionized personalized training and nutrition in America. There's retro photos and actual modern gym equipment. A team member who saw me filming stopped to tell me a great story. He said that when Universal reached out to the LaLanne family to ask permission to name the gym after him, they not only agreed but graciously donated some of Mr. LaLanne's private memorabilia for all to enjoy, including his surfboard. Walking the grounds, it strikes me just how big Cabana Bay is. Over 2,000 rooms spread across multiple towers and courtyards, yet the design keeps it from feeling overwhelming. Palm-lined pathways curve between buildings, leading you past hidden seating areas, small lawns, and surprise views of Volcano Bay's Krakatoa volcano looming in the distance. And speaking of Volcano Bay, another great perk of this hotel is that it has a direct entrance to the best water park in Orlando. This makes coming back from the water park when you're wet and tired a breeze. Cabana Bay isn't just a hotel, it's a retro time capsule, a celebration of mid-century Florida beach culture that somehow manages to feel both playful and polished. Walking along the pathways between the towers, I notice how deliberate every design choice feels. The starburst light fixtures and vintage-inspired furniture reinforce the theme. Even small details don't go unnoticed. The playful retro typography on the signage is styled like old-school travel postcards. One of my favorite touches is the nod to classic Americana entertainment. You could almost imagine kids from the 1960s running through these spaces, except now they're on phones and snapping selfies. Yet the aesthetic still feels timeless here. Staying on site at Universal always comes with perks, and Cabana Bay delivers, even if it's in a more understated way than some of the higher-end resorts. The biggest draw? Early park admission. Even with a one-night stay, you can get into Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, Epic Universe, and Volcano Bay an hour before the general public. It's perfect for grabbing a head start on popular attractions, especially if you're only here briefly and want to make the most of your time. That early entry alone can feel like a mini hack for short stays. For a one-night stay at Cabana Bay, pricing is refreshingly straightforward compared to other Universal on-site resorts. Rates fluctuate seasonally, but for a standard two-queen room, you can expect to pay roughly $180 to $250 per night. Who is Cabana Bay for? Families wanting easy park access and anyone on a budget who still wants an immersive Universal experience. Ultimately, Cabana Bay proves that value doesn't mean sacrificing experience. You get the Universal perks, the pools, the lazy river, the bowling alley, the Starbucks cappuccino moment, all packaged in a cohesive, playful resort world. So this is where I leave you today. For more information about staying at Universal Orlando, check out my website, orlandoparksguy.com, for free help. And if you're already thinking ahead to Universal's new Epic Universe Park, I've got a great video here that shows you how to beat the lines. I'll see you over there.